Hello and welcome everyone to another video. It's been quite a hot minute since the last post, mainly because school, extracurricular activities, and lack of ideas. So yeah, I think for this video I'm going to do an updated guide on how I personally do Tier 4 Voidglooms now. Because in my last video I made a lot of mistakes. A lot of the stuff in my guide could have been more optimized. For example, talismans, my summons, my gear, my pets, all of that. So I'll just reference, I just hit Ender Slayer 8. So I've done quite a few of these bosses. And yeah, hopefully this guide actually will help out a lot more. And you know, hopefully it actually goes well. So yeah, let's go. This guide is probably going to be for mid to late game players, so if you're an early game player, this is for Tier 4 Voidglooms. I don't think you're an early game player that you're going to be doing Tier 4 Voidglooms. But so yeah, let's get into what I have in my hotbar. So in my hotbar, we're going to have my Atom Split, which is basically your main damage sword. This is what you're going to be using for damage to the boss. Then you're going to have your Endstone Sword. This is going to make sure that you like never die, pretty much. And what it does is it consumes all of your mana and it gets you damage resistance. And depending on how much mana you use, the more damage resistance it gives you. It also empowers your next hit within the next 5 seconds. Now we have my Aspect of the Void. This just lets me teleport around to get the beacons. And I have my Astrea. This actually is not necessary at all. I actually rarely use this in fights. It's only if I ever like screw up, I just need quick healing, I use it. But I almost never use this in a fight. This just in case. My Wand of Atonement, this is one of my 2 main sources of healing during the boss fight, and I highly recommend it because it's super good. And you want to slap Ultimate Wise 5 on that just to smack down the mana cost to 120, and then you want to have your Plasma Flux as your other, or Plasma Flux or Overflux is what I recommend for this boss fight, and you want to have that as your mana regen and health regen because this thing is insane. Now, I have my Zombie Sword here, just for more emergency healing just in case. And I got my Soul Whip with Mana Steal. And basically what this does is, it's going to allow you, while the boss isn't attacking you, you can just use this and slap him around with it to get your mana back, to start using your Atom Split abilities and your Instant Sword abilities. Now, as for Talismans, I have a fully recombobulated talisman bag now. That's pretty awesome. So I've got, and you also want to have, well, if you can have them, you also want to have these accessories here. So I would recommend a Soulful Battery. Handy Blood Chalice is really nice. That extra ferocity really helps out. And Shaded Pocket Espresso Machine also really helps out with the intelligence. So these are the Soul Flow. I call them Soul Flow Talismans because they use Soul Flow. Yeah, so this is for overflow mana. This is basically emergency mana. I have 400 mana stocked up right here if I need it. So that helps out in some sticky situations. And that's basically the hotbar setup and what I have in my inventory. This is just like dungeon stuff, but I'm too lazy to take it out. Yeah. And then as for armor, you're gonna want to have 2 sets, I think. So you're going to want to have your damage set. Now, if you're just starting out to do Tier 4 Voidglooms, I'd recommend full Final Destination, or sorry, 3/4 Final Destination with a Warden Helm, if you have a Warden Helm at least. And you're going to be using that as your damage set. For me, I have 2/4 Necron with Ancient Final Destination boots, so that works out pretty well for me. And then as for my second set, this set is going to be used to summon. It's going to be used to summon your mobs. So I have a Reaper Mask that allows me to summon 2 additional souls. So I have this sword here, which is a Necromancer sword. It's got Ultimate Wise 5 on it, meaning that the cost of summoning your mobs is actually halved. So as opposed to a summoning ring, this actually does the exact same thing. It just allows you to actually put Ultimate Wise 5 on it, which is super nice because it doesn't use as much mana. So I can just put this set on, right? And then because I have overflow mana, I can actually summon all of the zombies. But well, not all of them, only 4. But I only really need 4, so it's not too crowded. But it also gets the hits phase done. So there you go. So you summon all of those guys. That's pretty cool. And then you can just switch back to your damage set, and they stay here. So that's basically, I think the inventory setup is pretty much done. So let's go into the talisman setup. Alright guys, so here in the Dungeon Hub, we're going to talk about the talisman setups. So for me, I have all recomp accessories, but you don't really have to. It's not necessary, it just helps out with damage. So let me explain this. My talisman bag isn't organized. I'm sorry if that pisses anyone off, but I'm lazy, okay? So I would recommend that anything that is common to rare you want to put on shaded. This gives you both strength and crit damage in a pretty balanced manner too. So that gives you a lot of damage there, and it's just pretty nice. So moving on to, let's see, an epic one. So for epic talismans, oh wait, is this also shaded? Dang. Oh, I guess that one's only shaded, whatever. But for epic talismans, you want to put strange. You want to put them to strange because what this does is it gives you attack speed. It gives you a pretty decent amount of strength and crit damage. It lowers your defense by a little bit, but it doesn't really matter in the long run because it's not that much. It still gives you good damage and good attack speed. So there you go. Strange, 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 whatever. All that stuff is strange. And then moving on to legendaries and mythics, we have them on strong. This gives a large boost of defense, crit damage, and strength. So when you put it on strong, this pretty much balances out anything that's on strange, so that minus defense doesn't really matter because you have them on strong, which gives you extra defense. That's pretty good. And I also recommend enriching all of your accessories that you can with Magic Find for better chances of drops, obviously, if you can. Now, by no means is that necessary, but this is just what I like to work with. So moving on to pets. So as for pets, I don't use Black Cat, surprisingly. I probably should, but I'm bad at the game. But basically, so the 2 pets that I use my Mythic Enderman. This is for when I start the Slayer quest and I need to get kills, because the 4th perk is Enderman Slayer, getting 40% more combat XP from Enderman. And you'll see that that's actually 10% higher than the Wolf for Enderman. So you can slide by using a Wolf, but I would highly recommend a Mythic Enderman. But if you don't have the funds for that, then just use a Wolf. Now, as for the boss fight, you're going to be wanting to use a Legendary Ender Dragon, or you could use a Baby Yeti, up to you, it doesn't matter. It's still going to be kind of the same. I would recommend starting off with the Baby Yeti and then transitioning over and getting used to an Ender Dragon, if you can. And yeah, so pretty much I use 3 pets. And you can use the Black Cat if you want. You can actually have a rod in your inventory, and you can set an auto pet to, when I throw a rod, equip my Black Cat. And then you can kill the boss with the Black Cat when it's low to get that extra magic find. So basically, the Enderman is for getting kills to start the boss. The Yeti and the Ender Dragon are going to be for killing it. So with that said, I definitely do recommend that you get some auto pet rules. So here, when I start a Slayer quest, it equips my Enderman. When a Slayer boss spawns, it's going to equip my Ender Dragon. And then I also highly recommend you have Auto Slayer. So if you don't have, all your Slayers to level 6, I would probably prioritize that first. All right, so we're back in the end, and let's actually do what this video was supposed to do. So we're going to show you how soloing the tier 4s works. So as I said, we're going to switch over to our summon set, and we're going to summon our tank zombies. Now I recommend anywhere from 4 to 6 of these guys. I use 4 because these guys get in the way a lot and I really hate it, but I mean, they're a necessary inconvenience, so they're here to stay. So yeah, I have to use 4. You can use 5 or 6, up to you. And the way you summon more is by getting Necromancer Lord armor pieces, because that allows you to summon more summons with the Necromancer Sword or Summoning Ring. Alright, so we are going... Actually, I'm not going to kill that guy. He's stuck in the hole and I don't want him to spawn there. Switch back to E-Man because I didn't have it out. And we're just going to get the rest of our kills normally. And usually when I'm fighting bosses, I like to spawn them in this area here. This is at the top of the Voidgloom area, or you can go down here. Right here is a nice place to fight it. It's kind of open. No one really goes here. Here's pretty good as well. So basically any platform that's open is pretty good, because you're gonna want an open space to see the skulls so they don't eviscerate you. So like if you fought it here, oh well, you're kind of dead. If you fought it here, you're kind of dead. You fought it here, I mean, you're probably fine, but you're kind of dead. So yeah, I opt to fight it in these areas. Oh, perfect. I'm gonna go kill this guy and we're gonna spawn it here. Alright, so he's gonna spawn. I like to slap him once or twice to get my zombies aggroed on him. Use my Wand of Atonement just for the healing. Once he gets into the hit damage phase, use your Atom Split and your Endstone Sword. Use your Atom Split first, then your Endstone Sword, so that the Endstone Sword will basically make you take 0 damage. And then just use healing accordingly, and you can just slap him with a Soul Whip to get your mana back. And then you can hit him around even more, and it's going to go into another hits phase. You're going to let your zombies take care of that. And I recommend being around 400 to 500 mana before using the Atom Split plus Endstone Sword again, because that gives you a good amount of damage resistance, and it also allows you to use your Atom Split ability to slap the zombie. Or sorry, to slap the Enderman. I'm stupid. So yeah, and then once you hit him, he's going to go back into his hits phase. And with the Endstone Sword, the great thing is you can actually mostly ignore the skulls. Oh, server, please. Hello? There it is. So, and then when he's in his spinning phase, you can actually just look at the skulls normally. That's fine. And then Atom Split, Endstone Sword, smack him around, and bam, he's dead. It's actually pretty easy. So you just really need to get used to timing your Endstone Sword correctly. And whenever you do that, you actually take virtually no damage from the boss, because it's a percentage of damage resistance and not a set amount of defense, which is really good. So I highly recommend getting an Endstone Sword. And I also don't know if Ultimate Wise does anything. I just have it on here because I thought it would be funny. I don't think it works, but it might. I don't even know. So this one should spawn the boss, because we're only 4 kills away. And let's do it again. So Wand of Atonement first play, slap him with Atom Split, get the aggro, put down Plasma, Atom Split, Endstone Sword, beat him up. He's going to take enough damage to go into a spinny phase. Then you're going to want to switch to your Soul Whip, and you're going to start flailing on him, getting your mana back. Atom Split, Endstone Sword, slap him. He's in the hits phase. You can actually use your Soul Whip here just a little bit, get a little bit of mana back, and then do that same cycle again. And you're basically going to repeat this for the whole boss, as the Endstone Sword basically makes it so you take almost no damage. Alright, Atom Split, Endstone Sword, and slap him around till he's in the hits phase. Soul Whip, get mana back. I'm gonna wait a second because it's kind of low. There we go, got my mana back. Beacon. Oh, there it is. Put another Plasma down because it's gone. And boom. Or if I can server stop lagging every 3 seconds. Oh my god. But yeah, so it's pretty much that simple. This can be replaced with an Overflux once again. Like, this is just kind of overkill. But yeah, so once again, if you're doing your first tier 4s and you're pretty rich and you have all this stuff, I do recommend using full Final Destinations or a Yeti pet to basically get you used to how the boss fights and its fight patterns and the timing. And once you get that down, you can slowly transition over to being more squishy but dealing more damage. And that will make the bosses go by a lot quicker. So let's just see what we get from this one, and I think that's going to be a wrap.